Dougie, as you were explaining earlier, I mean, this is not power sharing coming back in any sort of form soon, but is there an indication things could start to move as a result of this tomorrow?
No, not really. I think that the Unionists are sticking firm to their plan of if the protocol's there, they will not be. And nothing seems to be moving in that direction of bringing the Northern Ireland Assembly back. And that's simply because, well, the protocol breaks all the acts of the Union. But it's also interesting that Chris Heaton-Harris last week extended that legislation for having elections. If you remember, after the last election, he had so many weeks and then he had to call an election and then another few weeks. Well, he extended it for a year, and there's a number of reasons for that. And I suppose he's saying that he wants to breathe in time, not to put deadlines down. But also, the DUP's polling here has gone up substantially in Northern Ireland, and that is because people are now actually starting to see the results of the protocol. Things as daft as ordering presents or ordering goods from the mainland UK during Christmas, and all you get is do not deliver to Northern Ireland, do not deliver from mainland UK. The price of goods in Northern Ireland going up, and we're not talking about big ticket items, we're talking about those small items that the protocol's really starting to hit, because businesses on mainland UK are thinking, is it worth doing business with Northern Ireland for the amount of TSS, the paperwork that has to be done? I think it was 318 million over 24 months it was costing the Exchequer to do these goods, to ship goods from inside the UK into the UK. So people are now starting to see this, and they're thinking, OK, unionism maybe has a point here. Even some in the nationalist side of the community are saying we are seeing substantial price rises in our food. Yeah. We are seeing some of the goods that we previously had not appearing. And it's really now, the likes of ourselves are starting to get real businessmen, real directors of companies onto the air, and they are saying, look, this isn't working for Northern Ireland. This is designed to bring us into an all-Ireland economy. And it's not so much those spokespeople for various organisations that the media are trotting out. Now what's happening is real businesses are coming out and saying, we're not liking what's happening here. Okay. And all of a sudden, the DUP are starting to gather ground. But that might then cause to squeeze the other parties. And that's a problem. And so he's decided not to have those elections.
But just to explain to us then very quickly about the significance of what could happen for this organ donation law that's been stalled.
Well, the organ donation law that is stalled can be, Westminster is sovereign. It did in the past with the abortion laws, it did with the same-sex marriage. So this will, probably the pressure will now go on to Chris Heaton-Harris in order to clear this law and make it law, sorry, make this legislation law, because nobody behind here was against it. Everybody was on board for the organ donation. The problem being is, of course, that the institutions behind us collapsed before it could become law. So as it is now, it will probably go to Westminster, and Chris Heaton-Harris will then put it through the books there. But what will happen, of course, tomorrow is we will see a whole pile of people having a go at the unionist side of the population, saying, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. Well, that's exactly what happened in 2016 when it was the other way around. So really, it's a bit of political theatre tomorrow, although it is a shame on the family of Dougie, because that is a very brave young man. He needs a heart transplant. He's now 5 years of age and has been waiting 4 years, and that in itself is a very sad day for him and his family.